So we will get to what we're looking for in some of those spring scrimmage reports. Again, those are big schools that we expect to be among the ones that are dominating the conversation. Some of them, the likes of your Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, potential top 10, top 15 teams going into the year. But one team that you actually can watch is the Ohio State Buckeyes, the reigning national champions, one of the teams at the top of the odds board. And you know what? Ryan Day said, we're going to hit. I like this from Ryan Day. Ryan Day said a couple weeks ago, he said, coming off last year, my first initial 2 weeks after the season, I said, we need to take a step back this spring. We just played 16 games. It's a long year. We have to we have to be really smart. But then we got about a week and a half into spring and realized the guys who left played a lot of football in those 16 games. And the guys here haven't played a lot of football. So this actually is going to be one of the most physical spring practices we've ever had. So the first couple series will be veterans and thud tempo. But then after they get subbed out, ooh, boy, Ohio State spring game, which you can watch on the Big Ten Network, we're tackling, baby. Now, not the quarterbacks, but we will be tackling to the ground. It will be, in Ryan Day's own words, a, quote, normal spring game. So,
is there a softer position in sports than quarterback? Probably not.
Wow. Throwing shots.
You know what this sounds like to me?
What?
This sounds like, and we've seen it in everyone, and I'm going to say it till like people are really annoyed with it. This is one step closer to NFL. Like when you're in the NFL, if you're a veteran player who has played a lot, guess who's not playing a lot in the preseason? Mm-hmm. Guess who's not doing a lot of the drills that are full padded? The veterans. Like, and it sounds like that's the approach that he's going to take as well in Columbus, which I think is a smart approach to it. Like, why would you? Those guys know how to tackle. You know what those guys are going to do when the lights are on, when things are full speed. Some of the young guys that pop at practice and 7-on-7 that look awesome have never been hit, and they got to find out. You have to find out, is he going to get intimidated by the physicality of this next level or not? So you let those guys find out. So I think this will be a trend you'll see a lot of schools do that a lot of them already probably have been doing, but I think it's probably exactly what I would do if I was a coach.
Softest position is the future first round pick with a soft tissue injury. That is the softest position in football.
A lot of that going around.
All right. So we'll actually get to have highlights on this. Like I don't know if I'm clearing my Saturday schedule. I'll probably be watching Masters, but I will at least, grab this, make sure I'll be able to circle back to it. So what are we excited about? What would be something that would catch your eye for the Ohio State spring game?
I have a story coming out on this because I was asked to write it ahead of it, but I know I've been like, whatever about spring games, but I will say if there is any spring game that is interesting this spring, it would be the defending national champions because everybody's gone. So it will genuinely be the first look at what the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to look like. Ryan Day has said that the quarterback competition is still neck and neck. I don't buy that, because I think Julian Sayin is like, you had Kineholtz on the roster and you went and got Julian Sayin. And then Tavian St. Clair is an incoming freshman. So I don't think he's really got a realistic shot of winning the job with him. Maybe he's incredible and he does. But it'll be interesting to see what the offense looks like with him out there. It'll be interesting to see what the depth chart you can kind of start putting together based on what you see in the spring game. That said, I will not be watching it because I can just read Bucknuts afterwards and they'll tell me everything I need to know about what happened in the spring game.
I think it's really like, does Sayin come out and take this thing over or Kineholtz? Like that. Mm-hmm. That's the question. I think there's some reasonable confidence Ohio State will still be good on the D-line, probably not quite as good as they were last year. Which of the young guys, like I want to see Quincy Porter, the receiver who recently had the black stripe removed from his helmet. That was kind of like the one like Ohio State feeling receiver they took last year in that class, and it seems like he's already crushing it. So how much is he going to get to play? You still have Carnell Tate. You still have Ennis is still there. Obviously, Jeremiah is a pretty nice piece to have to start your offense with. But I do want to see, like, does one quarterback come and seize it? And if so, does the other kid transfer out?
That is the one area that I like to see, because you can have a spring game described to you or read about it. But I do like to see the quarterback's kind of presence, his composure, his eyes, like how confident does he look. Should be good, though. I will say that. I think they'll set it up where it should be a time to shine for Julian Sayin. Like, I'll be surprised if he doesn't have a pretty good game.
Marvin Harrison Jr.'s first spring game, the star, as I remember it, was Emeka Egbuka. You know, like sometimes it is it might be like a Quincy Port. You know, sometimes it is the player that's a little bit, you know, maybe not the reason you're tuning in, but somebody who steps up and really takes advantage of that to, you know, even if it's generating confidence for themselves, you know, it's something that can be a little bit of a boost right there as you know, look, the atmosphere is going to be celebratory. They just won the daggum national championship. They are going to be fired up about it. A lot of new faces, and yet they still are among the top picks to win the national championship. It is going to be impossible to have strong opinions on the defense when you're going thud for the first couple series and then, you know, not really bringing everybody to the ground. But I still will be looking for some of that patented athleticism, closing speed of a predatory cat, the kind of things that we get to see from those Ohio State future pros that they have on that side of the ball on an annual basis.